Want to save over $600 today? Want to get the plays of all 10 PickNation.com handicappers today for free? I'm talking over $600 of football action free today, no strings attached. Hi everyone, DeMarco here, General Manager of the world's largest online sports gambling community, PickNation.com. Right now, you can get the plays of all 10 handicappers at PickNation.com for free simply by using our one-day free all-access pass. And free really means free. Just go to PickNation.com, click on the free one-day all-access pass, and you'll get all the plays of all 10 handicappers for free today. That's over $600 of action on the house. Why am I doing it? Because I'm that confident that I've built a staff of the nation's premier handicappers, guys that can make you money this season. What better way to prove it than by giving you all their action today for free, no strings attached. What are you waiting for? Check out the free one-day all-access pass right now over on PickNation.com. If you like money and fantasy football, you're going to love this free offer to make money with DraftStreet.com. In fact, you've got a chance to win my money because I'm running a $300 league today where the top 7 finish in the money. Hi guys, DeMarco here, and today you'll be competing against my team and amongst yourselves to win my money. Fantasy sports have changed over the years, making them more lucrative. No more waiting to get paid at the end of the season. With DraftStreet.com, you get instant gratification. Here's the deal. Go to DraftStreet.com right now. Enter this code, DeMarco, my last name. That's going to get you access to my league today. Entry costs absolutely nothing. It's free to play for a shot at winning my money. You have a $100,000 salary cap to draft your team. You've got until the 1 p.m. Eastern Time kickoffs to set your roster, and the winners will be determined when the Monday night game is over. Remember, the top 7 finish in the money with my $300 at stake. Go to DraftStreet.com, use the passcode DeMarco, build your team now. You just saw the ad, guys. $300 of my money at stake through the Fantasy Football League. We're running over at DraftStreet.com. Remember, use my last name, DeMarco, to enter. You've got a chance to win $300 of my money. I finished 7th last week. Steve finished, well, we're not even going to mention it. Just so
I finished.
Yes,
that's true.
He finished.
I finished.
Yes, they wheeled him over the finish line. I think 148th Steve finished. But guys, listen, it's a great shot. It's a free entry, $300 at stake. The top 7 of you on a weekly basis win the money. You finish in the money. And remember, with DraftStreet.com, this is not a league that you're waiting till the end of December to see who wins. You know who wins the league right at the conclusion of your Monday night game. So check it out. DeMarco is your entry code. $300 at stake over at DraftStreet.com. Steve, back to the games on the board here. I think one of the more interesting contests, Pittsburgh and Tennessee. Who would imagine Tennessee is playing so well here? Matt Hasselbeck looks rejuvenated, and that Tennessee offense, after really looking so stagnant, looking almost over the hill, playing for Seattle the last couple of years. But it's amazing what happens when you have a little talent on your side. The dog has covered each of the last 3 years in this series. Pittsburgh, of course, coming back home after losing at Houston, which is nothing to be embarrassed about. I'll tell you one thing, Steelers have covered 5 consecutive games coming off a straight-up loss earlier this year, coming off that Baltimore debacle where they lost 35-7 on the road. They came back home and just smothered Seattle, winning 24-0. I think this is a game set at 3.5, where, again, the line makers are looking here and trying to lure you into taking Tennessee. Must-win situation for the Steelers in this spot.
That's what I was going to ask you. Don't you think, not just for the season, but for all the critics and for all the talk all over, talk television, radio, about how the Steelers and Ben are just flat-out old, they have to come out strong here and not just win, but win decisively. I think their whole season counts on it, and I think they will come up with a performance which will start on defense, where it always starts for the Steelers, and then carry through with Big Ben in the offense.
Yeah, you know, everybody's saying the defense got old. They're not playing dominant style ball that they played before. Hold it. Houston's been putting up points like crazy. Okay, you couldn't stop Arian Foster last week, but it's not like you let Houston score 40 against you. I mean, they have played adequately defensively. Now, they're without James Harrison, and we will never know exactly how injured Ben Roethlisberger's foot is, and they have not been able to run the ball. You know, if I keep this up, I'm going to talk myself out of taking the Steelers. But I still think Pittsburgh is the way to go. I mean, you lose 17-10 at Houston, you come back home. I think you can get the job done. They've covered 7 of their last 10 at Heinz Field. And even though Matt Hasselbeck has played very well and Chris Johnson finally is rounding out the form, 23 carries, 101 yards last week, I think this is a fairly priced game.
Yes.
If maybe the Steelers had played more consistent this season, or if the defense had played up to what the public's perception is, I think this line would have been Steelers 6, 6.5. So to me, it's a bargain.
Yeah, and it wouldn't surprise me if this game comes down to the wire and winds up being won or lost on the last play. So I'd probably advise you to buy that hook here and not get caught with your pants down.
No, absolutely. If you're at 3.5, you absolutely buy it down. And if you're at 4, you buy it down too, because you have a hell of a lot of games finishing on 4. So that's the way I would go there. Jacksonville and Cincinnati. Do we have to talk about this game? Do we? I mean, listen, Jacksonville, they're bad. They've scored 39 points in 4 games. Blaine Gabbert last week, second pro start, 16 for 42, guys, with an interception, 196 yards.
Great in baseball.
16 for 42. Yeah, I mean, pathetic performance. 23-10 home loss to New Orleans. And people go, oh my, but they hung close to New Orleans. Well, that's only because Drew Brees thwarted a couple of Saints drives with costly interceptions. And really, New Orleans, it was almost like, we're playing this game. We know we can win it. We're not really putting our whole hearts in it. Believe me, I had the Saints last week as my best bet on Sunday, so I was in it, and thankfully they did get the cover. But this is a team, Jacksonville, that's only covered once in its last 7 games. You know, again, I just don't see why not taking New Orleans or Cincinnati in this spot. You're getting 2.5 points. Cincinnati, a huge comeback win last week against Buffalo at home. They were down 17-3 at halftime, 458 total yards. And I'll tell you what, Andy Dalton, the rookie quarterback out of TCU, has really impressed me.
Not too shabby.
No, I mean, he had a bad first half, but he responded after intermission. He came out strong. And Cedric Benson, 19 carries, 104 yards. So they have some offensive weapons here.
Yeah, I mean, you said it perfectly. I'll sum it up. Jacksonville, worst team in the league. I mean, they're the Carolina Panthers of last year. You seem like you bet against them every week. You do well. They're one-dimensional. They can only run the ball. They score less than 10 points a game. This is a joke. You got to take the points here with the Bengals.
I agree with you, guys. Another game here before the break is going to be San Diego and Denver. The Chargers are 4-point favorite here. They are one of the worst 3-1 teams I have seen. They miss Darren Sproles so much. You know, they also miss a healthy Antonio Gates. Not that Phillip Rivers has performed poorly, but they really, I mean, you beat Miami, a winless Miami team, 26-16 at home. This is not the Chargers, explosive Chargers team you've seen in years past that you could count on 30, 40 points and they could just pull away and cover these big posts.
Yet they've been able to get some wins early in the season, which is something they've never been able to do.
Exactly. Now, I think it benefits you here that they are only a 4-point favorite, but this is a Denver team that's desperate. Now, they did lose last week 49-23 at Green Bay. The defense shredded for 507 yards. Aaron Rodgers had a monstrous game against this defense.
What a machine.
But Aaron Rodgers is playing at Lambeau. Now you've got Phillip Rivers playing at Denver. You know, I got to tell you something. Kyle Orton's 4-17 straight up, 6-15 against the spread the last 21 games he started. And I can give you a lot of other numbers, like Denver's only covered 4 of their last 15 games at home. This is a game, it wouldn't surprise me if Denver manages to stay within that number. Maybe they lose by a field goal. Maybe they win it by a field goal.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Phillip Rivers not having the greatest of years, 4 games, 6 interceptions already. But more than that, it seems like on the games that they win, they're doing just enough to win. They're not really blowing anyone out. Yeah. I think the same thing happens this week. They do just enough to win. They get the win, but Denver gets the cover. I agree with you.
And listen, this is not a Denver team that plays well laying chalk on the road. They've only covered 7 of the last 21 games. They've been laying points on the road. So, you know, you look at those type of numbers, and again, I think it's a 3-point game. Either way, you're getting 4. As I've said many times, guys, I'm a firm believer that you buy the half-point up or down accordingly, whether you're on the favorite or the underdog, when that line crosses 3, 4, 7, sometimes even 10. It depends on the situation. And here's a case where I would absolutely go ahead and buy the half point in this one. Guys, we've got more games to break down in the last portion of our show. Coming up after this short break, we're going to be taking a look at Philadelphia, Buffalo, Houston, Oakland, New Orleans, Carolina, and then that little Sunday night game between the Packers and the Falcons as well. Remember, guys, one day, free all-access pass at picknation.com. You can get my best bet today, Steve's latest play from the Baltimore Crew, 28-14 the past 4 years. All the plays of all the handicappers, including our newest edition of Pick Nation, Craig Davis, who has only won like 23 of his last 29 plays. That's all available at picknation.com for free, the one-day all-access pass. We'll be back in just a minute.